Hi everybody, this is Howard the Teaser King coming to you with week 14 of the NFL. Very strong week this looks like. I have 4 locks going, total of 11 plays that are very, very strong. Could have 12 again. I'm waiting on Trevor Siemian on Denver. Again, if he plays, Denver's a play. Without him, he's not. And the rest are just very strong plays all over the board. It's like, and I refer to poker a lot because it's gambling, and a lot of the times when I'm looking at the week, some weeks are harder than others. So if I refer to it as poker, some weeks you're like getting 8-6 offsuit, and you're getting 8 deuce. You know how you're at the table and 10-3 comes, and it's hard to play the hands. And you play a few hands, but they're really hard hands. And then some weeks you get there and you look, pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens, ace king, pocket kings again, pocket aces again. Well, that's the board I have this week. And I kind of try to tell my friends and my clients that, oh, I lost with you last week, or I won a little, or I won one week and lost another. And you try to say, you can't, it's like poker, you can't, if you go to the table 10 times, if you play 10 times, you probably win 7 or 8 times and lose 2 or 3, and you net it out. I said, that's how you got to do this. You can't look at me for a week and go, well, you had a bad week, or 2 weeks and you had a good week and a bad week. You've got to look at the whole sculpture. You've got to look at the whole year. If you play me, you should, you see my history. You hear the videos, so I know what I got. You see my comments. I'm the real deal. I know what I'm doing. So you've got to understand a few weeks are going to be 8-5 offsuit, and I'm trying to make picks out of 8-5 offsuit. This week, pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens. From what I can see, you got a lot of heads-up matchups, which is what I like. I mean, I like the Detroit Chicago's and the Green Bay Minnesotas. When they play each other twice a year, you get very good matchups. Those you can read and say, oh, let's see how the series goes. But when you get Detroit playing at Tennessee, they don't play. They play every 4 years. It's hard to get that matchup. Last week what I did, which I thought was ingenious, is I looked at similar games. So Detroit actually played New Orleans. So I looked at Detroit against Green Bay, and I looked at New Orleans against like Carolina, and or against Atlanta, and I tried to ascertain, all right, Detroit's playing Green Bay is just like Drew Brees against New Orleans. So you watched how they did, and I thought that was very smart. And I was 11-2 last week with not really good hands. This week I got great hands. If you're gonna buy and you want, like this is the week that you're going to win, it's this week. 4 locks in the pros, 11 total plays, and maybe more, and I could really play the whole board. I don't think there's any game that I looked at and said, I don't know what, I don't like the game. Some of them are kind of ballsy, some of the picks, because of who I'm going to go against. It's hard to go against the really good teams, but yet the trends are there. So let's give one of those games out. Here's the ballsy pick. Dallas 3 over the Giants. And normally I hate to play against the Dallas, the New England, the Alabamas, the Ohio States. You normally like to bet with them or watch the game. But here you have such a great trend that we got to go with it. Dallas laying 3 to the Giants. Over under 47.5. I look at this game and I look at the trends, and the home team and the dog in New York are 14-2. The dog is 20-4 in the series. New York play against home dog 9-0. New York's 9-0 as the dog. New York's 10-1 overall against Dallas, and New York's the only team to beat Dallas. Dallas is strong as a. Here's some of the trends. The Giants this year are 11-1 in a teaser and 11-1 against in a teaser. Dallas is 11-1 in the teaser. So superficially, you'd say, let's take Dallas. They're 11-1 in the teaser, and the Giants are 11-1 against. But when you dig into the head-to-head, is why you go ahead and you play the Giants. Since 15, if you look, the Giants are 4-0 as a home dog, 4-0 against as a home dog. Dallas is 3-0, but when I get back a little bit, let's go back to 2013. I don't know, 2014. In 2014, the Giants are 6-1 as a home dog. Dallas 8-0 as a road favorite. So this is, you can see there's good trends for both sides. But it's not here where the money's made. It's the head-to-head trend. And when you look at the Dallas Giant matchup, and I go back to 2011, the game in New York, everybody's 4-1. You bet Dallas or the Giants. The dog is 9-1, and if I include the dog this year, because it was 20-19, the dog is 10-1 the last 11. New York is 10-1 the last 11 in the series. When I go back to 2009, in New York, the dog is 6-1. Giants as a dog are 8-1, and the dog is 14-1 in the series. If I go back to 2005 in New York, everything's 8-3. But again, here's Dallas as the favorite, 9-6. The Giants, 14-2 as the dog in the series, no matter where the game's played. And the dog is 20-4 in the series. This is a dog series, 20-4. So the last 24 times they played, bet the dog, you're 20-4. That's what you look for. Since they play each other twice a year, and I know Ezekiel Elliott's new, and the quarterback's new. I can't think of Dallas's quarterback. It's a mental lock for 5 seconds. Prescott, I'm sorry. So, well, yeah, I know they're new, but the Giants have new players on their team, and they got Beckham and all that stuff. I just see this game being close. They both need the game. If you look at the game even, who would you play? Okay, Dallas will win. Here it's laying 3, you get 9 or 9.5. You get 9.5 in the Giants at home in a series where the dog is 20-4, and New York is 10-1 overall, the last 11 in this series. Kind of supersedes they're both 11-1 this year. And certainly it'll probably be a close game. But here's where Dallas could have a problem and lose, because it's a team that's not afraid of them, knows how to play them. So take the Giants plus the 9.5. If you want to look at over-under, the over-under is 47.5. I would think it's an under game at 53, because the Giants are playing a lot of under. And when you look at their stats, Dallas is 27 points on offense, and they give up 19 on defense. But the Giants score 20 and give up 19.8 also. So the Giants aren't giving up a lot of points. That's going to make Dallas, not going to just blow out the Giants here. This is a game where you tease the dog. Like sometimes you tease the dog, sometimes you take the favorite down. This is a situation you want to tease the dog. So the trends and everything else, they take the Giants. The Giants beat them this year. I don't see Dallas going into New York and blowing them out. Anything could happen, but if you got to bet it and you got to hope it's right, the Giants in 9.5 to me is the play. Next game. Let's go to Minnesota and Jacksonville. Minnie's laying 3, over under 39.5. So when I look at this game, now Minnie's, one of their faults is they're not a very good road favorite. But, and that's true, so let's look at the numbers. Minnie this year is 1-2 as a road favorite. They're 9-3 overall in a teaser. Jacksonville, 2-1 as a home favorite. 3-0 against as a home dog. That means if When they're the home dog, you bet against them, you win. More importantly, Jacksonville is bet against Jacksonville for the year is 12-0. Every game you bet against them, you get a W. Minnesota's got the real tough defense. Jacksonville, not a really good offense. Quickly looking at those numbers, Minnesota scores 19 a game and gives up 17 a game. They only give up 17 points. So Jacksonville's not scoring a lot. When we look at Jacksonville, they only score 18 a game. This is a professional football team. They only score 18. So against this defense, they're going to be lucky to get 10. And they give up 26. And Minnesota's been playing better lately. So you got Minnesota going to be able to move the ball on this weak defense, and there's no way Jacksonville is moving. So you could theoretically play the game under 45.5. It's kind of low, but that's a possibility. Then we get into Minnesota. We go back to 2015, and we look at the stats. Now Minnesota's 23-6 in a teaser, 79%, 15-16. Again, they're weak as a road favorite, 2-3, 4-1 against. Jacksonville again is 3-2 as a home dog. Bet against them 4-1, and bet against Jacksonville 24-4, 86%. If you just bet against Jacksonville every game, no matter where. So you have many who's not a great road favorite, but their defense should be good. And here's Jacksonville, who is very weak at home. I go back to 2014. Jacksonville is 9-2 bet against as a home dog. They're 7-1 bet against as a home favorite, because you bet against Jacksonville at home 16-3. It's about 85%. And they're 39-5 bet against in a teaser, 89%. You have these huge trends against Jacksonville. This is why I was going to lock Denver against Jacksonville last week, but Simeon didn't play. So that's another thing that happens to you. It's like you're at the poker table and you get pocket aces and everybody folds. Well, that's what happened. I had Denver going to lock him against Jacksonville. What happens? Simeon doesn't play. Hard to lock Lynch, so you just watch the game. You be patient. And that's what happens here. So, again, Minnie, not a good road favorite, but Minnie in a teaser is 36-9 since 2014. So they're 80% if you just bet them. And, yeah, I know they got their injuries, but now they're working it out. They're playing better. They played Dallas very well at home. They're still in the race for the playoffs. They're 2 behind Detroit. And they theoretically could get a playoff, a wild card if they win out. So they're not dead yet. So they're going to be playing. Jacksonville has been dead for the start of the season. And we'll go one more back. So back to 2013. Bet against Jacksonville as a home dog, 15-3, 83%. Bet against them overall, 50-10, 83%. Jacksonville just bet against since 2013. You're going to be 83%. Minnesota is still 47-14, 77%. And again, it's not like they don't win as a road favorite. They're 2-3. Yes, they lost to the Bears as a road favorite in one of my locks earlier. But that's more of a rivalry game. Chicago, it's funny, since they played that game, they haven't won. I think they won last week against Frisco, but they went on to lose to Tampa and lose 3 or 4 other games. And you're like, oh yeah, it figures the game Minnesota they win and lose everything else. So it's just very clear that Jacksonville is a home dog. It's terrible. Jacksonville. Even with the teaser, they're only 17-11 since 2015, and they're 24-4 again. So it's pretty obvious. Just bet against Jacksonville. Minnesota with a strong D. It'll be a lot like the Denver game. Denver beat them 20-10 without a quarterback. Bradford's a good quarterback, and Minnesota has some injuries, but it's a must-win game for them. Their defense should be more than adequate to shut down Jacksonville. I just don't see Jacksonville doing anything. So the under is an attractive play. If you're into that, go under 45. I think you got Minnesota, who locks you down and scores, is not going to blow you away, against Jacksonville, who can't score and has a really weak defense. So you're looking at maybe 20-3, maybe 24-6. I don't see Jacksonville doing, maybe they get a lucky touchdown, but I don't see them for 4 quarters beating Minnesota. Minnesota needs the game. So play Minnesota plus the 3, New York Giants plus the 9. That's your teaser from the Teaser King. Again, I have 4 locks going this week. And all these strong plays, I mean, these were just the tip of the iceberg in the plays. Basically, I played just about every game. But every game's got the monster trend. It's just the way this week sets up. There's a couple of live dogs. Some really good games. Pitt, Buffalo, Dallas, Giants, Baltimore, New England. So if you want the winners, I would say buy my pros this week. The pros are 100. The locks are 77. But there's no college locks. There's only one college game, Army-Navy, which I am playing. But I think this is a good week to buy the pros. I might just run the table. I mean, I've been, what am I, for the season, I'm 80%. I'm 122 and 29, almost 81%, 80.5%, 11 and 2 last week. Now these are my picks. I'm not 11 and 2 in teasers. I don't want anybody confused by that. But the picks are needed for the teasers, and really the key is I bet the teasers differently, and I put, like, my locks will be in 2 or 3 teasers, so it's hard to count the teasers as much as saying, yeah, I picked, who was my lock last week? Cincinnati, I think. No, I don't remember my lock last week. My lock won last week, but I don't remember. They're all running together on me. But, I mean, the lock I had, I played in 2 teasers, and the other lock, so I played 2 teams in the lock, and I put them in 2 teasers. So how do you really count that? So to me, I'm just counting the picks, saying, hey, I picked 13 games last week. I won 11 of them, and just put them in the teaser. Or I don't know if you take my teasers and do it, or you just look at mine, say, oh, he likes, Buffalo is the lock. No, Buffalo wasn't a lock last week. They were the lock 2 weeks ago. So, his lock's Buffalo. I'll take them. I'll bet them in 2 teasers strong, and that, whatever you want. You're getting the information. You're having me analyze the trend analysis and the fundamentals, and I'm looking at, like here, the Giants are 20. The dog in the Dallas Giant game's 20-4 in a teaser. Well, nobody knows that. Nobody does teaser trends, but me. You can't find it anywhere. And I update them and I keep them, but I'm not looking just at the trends, although they're very helpful in the matchup. What does it say? It says Giants and Dallas play. It's a close game, and the dog usually wins. Well, that's what you want to know. That's the whole point. So when you're looking at the game, you can't just blindly say, well, Dallas is having a good year, I'm just going to keep betting them. You could, but there's always that game where, they lose, and you go, how did they lose that game? That's how they lose it, when the matchup isn't favorable. And here you have a trend where they play each other twice a year. So that's really what you're looking for. So anyway, definitely advise you to play the pros. There's 4 pro locks, and there's a lot of other strong games. I mean, I theoretically could have locked like 6 games, but I don't want to get too crazy with the locks. I only really want to be selective in it. I mean, I didn't lock the Dallas Giant game, and yet look at the trend. But the reason I didn't lock it is I'm a little bit, I don't like betting against the good team like a Dallas or a New England. So when I do, I don't certainly want to lock against Dallas. I will play it because it's appropriate that the dog in the series over 10 years is the play. Well, I don't want to, I go with it. I always go with the trend. If red's coming up, I play red. If black's coming up, I play black, and I keep playing it out. And that's what I'm doing here. So anyway, good luck this week. Again, there's a ton of games. Again, I'm 120. What's my number? 122.29 for the year. So, it's not like I've been just 1 week. But be careful. I mean, this week, definitely, I would definitely buy it if you're looking to buy. But I can't win every single week, but most of the weeks I have been winning. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for, this is a good week. I got pocket aces. This is a good table. I got pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens. This is what I'm looking for, and this is the week to do it. So definitely suggest that. I will put my college bowls out. They'll be $100. All the bowls, anything I lock in college and the playoff for $100. And I might not play every game, but I can certainly give anybody, if they like, who do you like in Iowa and the Minnesota game and the USC game, I can certainly tell you, I can back you with the trends and the analysis. But I don't play every bowl, but I'll play most of them. So feel free to do that. That should come out next week, or try to come out this weekend. Anyway, good luck. Again, www.teaserking.com. Some questions. Yes, you can pay with credit card, and yes, the site is 100% secure. I don't see your information. You go out to purchase pick, you go into PayPal. Now you don't have to use PayPal. You can use your own credit. You can just switch it, click credit card, and then put in the amount. Or you just put in the credit card information, but I don't see that. You put it in, it goes right to the PayPal source or the credit card source, and it's 100% secure. So don't worry about it. Again, nobody sees your information. I don't see your information. All I do is I get an email that says Bill Smith has paid $100 for the pros. That's all I see, is an email with your name and your email. That's it, and that's all I want to see. I don't want to see your information. That's not the point of it, but nobody sees it, and it's 100% secure, so don't worry about it. All right, everybody, good luck. Have a great weekend. Again, I'm loaded with picks, and I'm loaded with strong picks. Not, well, I'm not sure, and I'll play a pick. And I never do that. I never play a pick unless I'm sure to play it. And I never play a lock, just play a lock. I play a lock because I believe the lock should win. So that's what I do. These are my picks. These are my bets. So yes, I am doing this. And again, I'm not a salesman. I'm a high-level analyst. And I have very different methods that I use to choose, that I perfected since 1977. And that's just what I do. So good luck. Have a great weekend, and I hope you make a ton of money. Thank you very much. Again, it's Howard, the Teaser King.